afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Carol De Pest, and if you're watching me for the first time, I welcome you also to Chicago Channel on YouTube. So today I'm preparing for you an eggplant dish, which is called Aubergine Maison, also known as Aubergine Nelly, after my mother, whose name is Nelly, obviously. And this recipe has been in the family for as far as I can remember. And it is typically a dish that was created on my mother's side, and we've always made it for whatever occasion, on holidays or whenever we feel like eating it. So again, today is aubergine maison. I'm going to show you what the ingredients are. So as you can see, I have the eggplant, which I had peeled and sliced like half-inch thick, and I fried in vegetable oil, and I let it uh, dry or soak on a paper towel to remove the excess oil. And I also have, as you can see, sliced tomatoes and sliced boiled eggs. And as an option, I have bacon. I have cooked bacon, and again, it's optional. You don't have to use bacon, especially if you're a vegetarian. Okay, so I'm going to place them in layers in a bowl, and after that I'm going to prepare a bechamel sauce or a sauce blanche, and I'm going to show you the whole thing. So let's go ahead and start layering those ingredients here. First of all, I'm going to put the eggplant at the bottom of the bowl. And as you can see, the eggplant are fried until they are brown. You really want them to be well cooked, okay? And then you can put the tomatoes. And I have sliced 1.5 tomatoes. I have more tomatoes if need be. So you can put it like that. And then the next thing is to put the boiled eggs. All right, doesn't have to be neatly layered, but you get the idea. Just having those covered like that, and then, like I said, you don't have to put the bacon, but I like bacon because it gives that, extra taste or special taste, enhances the taste. Okay. So I'm just going to continue putting the layers like this, and we're going to make sure that every space is covered. All right. And next, the tomatoes. Again, like you can see, I'm going to be needing more slices of tomatoes, so I have some that I have right here. I'm just slicing the tomatoes, not too thick, not too thin. Just put them here, and like this. Next, the eggs, the boiled eggs. Again, I don't have any measurements depending on the amount of eggplant that you have. In this case, I had two medium sized eggplant, and I just eyeball it and put it like that. All right, and this is going to be our last layer. Okay, just those extra things, we can just put them like this. And then we're finishing up with the eggplant. Okay? Again, you want to make sure they are well covered. You can superimpose the eggplant. They are kind of thin right there. And it's okay if you have any extra ones. I guess I can use all of them. Alright, so here it is. Simple. The really tedious step is when you have to fry the eggplant. Okay, these look kind of brown, so I'm not going to use those. And throw this away. Alright, so here it is. The aubergine Nelly in a nutshell. Now, like I said, I'm going to prepare the sauce blanche. Alright, you see? It looks good and it's perfect for this size bowl. Okay. Now let's turn around and we're going to prepare the sauce blanche. And for the sauce blanche, I'm going to be using some flour, about 1 cup of flour. And that's an all-purpose flour, okay, right here. And I have some grated Swiss cheese, some chopped onions, some parmesan cheese, also grated, whole milk, and then evaporated milk. Again, I'm not going to tell you what the measurements are. I just eyeball it depending on what the amount of aubergine or eggplant that I have. Okay, so let's start cooking. Alright, I'm going to start by putting some butter. I forgot to mention that I have to have the butter in, obviously, to make the sauce blanche. So let's start with about 2 tablespoons of butter. Alright, so we let the butter melt. Or maybe I should really put it in front so it can be, so you can see better. Okay, let's do the front. Alright, as you can see, the butter is melting very nicely. And to that, I'm going to add the chopped onions. I love onions in my dish. Obviously, sauce blanche or bechamel sauce doesn't really require the onions, but it's my preference and I like it like that. So I add the onions to my sauce blanche, okay? So I'm going to let it soften a little bit before I can add my flour. Alright. Okay, you can see better. That's much better. Okay. Alright, so when it softens, I just lower the heat. I don't want it to burn. And I forgot one more thing. Alright, I have 2 more ingredients for my sauce blanche that I did not mention, which is yellow mustard and Worcestershire sauce. Alright. Again, these are optional. They are not part of the regular sauce blanche, but I like to add them to enhance the taste. At this point, I'm going to add the flour, and I have 2 tablespoons and maybe one more. Okay, I have about 3 tablespoons of flour because of the quantity of butter that I added. Okay, I always eyeball it. I know you guys are going to be saying, oh, she doesn't give me any measurements, but you just have to follow your instinct. Alright, at this point I'm adding the evaporated milk. Alright, and the evaporated milk, I like to use it more than I do the whole milk because it really makes the sauce very creamy, very rich, and that's what you want. And as you add the milk, of course, the flour gets cooked and it gets, thick and thicker, and I will add the whole cup of whole milk. Alright, and then you keep on stirring it, and until all the lumps are gone. Alright, and I can increase the heat at this point. So I'm just crushing the lumps. I don't want any lumps. Definitely not a good thing to do, to have. And I keep on turning it, stirring it. Okay. Just keep on stirring until it starts cooking again and boiling. It looks almost good at this point. Most of the lumps are gone, and as it cooks, the lumps are going to be disappearing as well. So I can add, and also just by looking at it, you know that you need to add more liquid. Okay, in this case, the evaporated milk. Okay, I like that. Now we're going to season it with salt, and I don't put any pepper in it, just the salt. Okay, about a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon of salt. Okay, keep stirring, and then you can judge by the thickness whether you should add more milk or not. Okay, I'm going to let it cook before I can add any more milk. At this point, I want to add my mustard, my yellow mustard. Again, that's to enhance the taste. Just a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons. Okay, also to give it that color, that special color. Okay, and I will add the Worcestershire sauce. Okay, again, the same thing, about a teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, it's starting to thicken again, and I can add more milk. Okay, you don't want it to be too thick, and you don't want it to be too liquidy either. So, and also you know that by adding the cheese, it's going to thicken some more, so we probably will have to add some more milk. Okay, notice that I don't add water at all, just milk. I'm going to add, maybe this will be half a cup of the shredded Swiss cheese, and I love cheese in my bechamel sauce. It really gives you that special taste, especially if you're gonna have to pour it over the aubergine. Okay, so after adding that, I can add some more milk. Notice that I use already 1 cup of whole milk, and I'm about to finish using that whole can of evaporated milk. That's a lot of milk, but it's necessary to, you don't want that thing. And I'm going to taste it to see what it needs. It's so good. It really tastes really good. Alright, let's finish this one. And I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese. Okay, I don't think you will ever have any excess cheese or extra cheese, you know, in your bechamel sauce. It will give you that taste that is so good. Alright. I think it's perfect. I could add some more milk since I finished with this one. Let me grab another can of milk. Or I can just add whole milk, just a little bit. I just have to eyeball it again. You're going to hear me say that word often, eyeball, instead of saying, oh, half a cup or 1 cup or whatever. I do not believe in measurements when it comes to savory dishes. For dessert, yes, I do measure, but not for those dishes. This is so good. And one more secret ingredient, it is not secret anymore, is ground nutmeg. Just a little bit. Okay? Add a little bit of ground nutmeg. And you see, this is the consistency that I want. You see, it's not too liquidy, it's not too thick, it's just perfect. And I don't think we need to add anything anymore. It is really good. That ground nutmeg really added more flavor to it. Alright, and that's it for the sauce blanche. At this point, let me grab the bowl, and all you have to do is pour the sauce blanche over the eggplant. Alright, okay, you can use a knife. Alright, make sure that it is well distributed. Okay, like that. I have some more. I'm going to use the whole thing, and this is the perfect amount for that, you know, bowl of eggplant. Alright, I just have to eyeball it and then just spread it like this. Again, even though it looks thick now, when I cook it in the oven at 350 degrees, it's going to become liquidy because the eggplant is going to render the water as long as the tomato, the liquid from the tomato is going to become very liquidy and very delicious looking and tasting as well. Okay, let me finish using the whole thing, and there you have it. This is the aubergine Nelly, aubergine maison, or in English, eggplant dish. Okay, so make sure that voila, this is the finished product, my aubergine Nelly. Very nice looking, golden brown, like I told you it would be, and ready to eat. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Good night.